Yo guys, what is up? And I am back with Broadway grosses, so let's get into it. Up first, we have Juliet, which went from 92.64 to 90.12, and 891K to 933K for a $42,000 increase. Again, Juliet is doing solid numbers. I think as long as it stays in the 8s and 9s, it is fine, but it should realistically not go past 900K. I know that's asking for a lot, but again, with royalties and the production cost of the show, even though it's recouped, this show is not invincible. And people have been speculating that it will close come the end of the year. I think it's doing too well financially, even if it's not doing the ideal numbers that people might want it to and that investors and producers want it to. I still think it is doing just fine enough that it will make it till at least next year. Back to the Future went from 88.13 to 88.9, and 1,049,848 to 1,110,837. One of Back to the Future's best weeks so in a long time. But is it a little too late? Again, I think this show will not close by the end of the year or even next year. But I think it's not done as good as I thought it would have over the summer, and probably that producers and investors thought, because it obviously did very poor numbers leading up to the summer, and the assumption was we will make up for that loss in June and July. But we are halfway through July, and these numbers have not gone up significantly. So again, it is very much a week-by-week situation. As of right now, I don't think this will close at the end of the year, but I think the big test will be how bad or good or stable does it do come September. Cabaret went from 95% to 97%, and 1,609,557 to 1,616,310. Hadestown went from 100.15 to 100.83, and 825K to 845K, so it's doing that sweet spot, and it's doing great. Hamilton sold out, going from 1,922,308 to 1,987,000. Hell's Kitchen continues to be a juggernaut, selling out, going from 1,687,326 to 1,687,547. Illinois is going out strongly from 81% to 86%, and 745K to 795K, one of its highest weeks in a minute. Moulin Rouge continues to do not great at 93% last week and 96% this week, going from 966K to 1,058,060. And you guys know my thoughts on this, on Moulin Rouge, and how I think it's losing steam, and how clearly it is a show that is on thin ice. Six went from 95% to 95%, and 884K to 929K. Stereophonic went from 983K to 992K, selling out. Suffs went from 94% to 93%, and 826K to 837K. And this show is doing, again, surprisingly well. As long as it doesn't go past 800,000, it can make it to next year. And with the recent political change in presidents, it could boost its box office significantly, having recently had a performance where Kamala was shouted. So that could actually help this show significantly. And Suffs continues to defy all expectations. Gatsby continues to do amazing, 97% last week and this week, and 1,237,083 this week, and 1,263,510 this week, and last week was what I said was this week. The Notebook went from 672K to 685K, and 92% to 89%. Again, I think this will close by Labor Day, and if not, it is 100% closing at the end of the year. These are not sustainable numbers, plain and simple. Anything below 800K is very much a dicey situation, but once you hit sixes, it is over. So again, I think that because this has lost so much money, and it hasn't necessarily made $1 million since the winter, I suspect this could close by Labor Day. The Outsiders continues to sell out, going from 1,390,233 to 1,432,116. The Wiz went from 92% to 97%, and 1,240,166 to 1,355,530, which is not, and they're not extending, but I think that's a smart move. Water for Elephants went from 928K to 965K, and 84% to 84%. I think Water for Elephants, despite being a more costly show, has made more money and had more weeks in the $1 Million Club than The Notebook, so I think this will not close by Labor Day, but it very well could. But The Notebook and Water for Elephants, without a doubt, are the next two to close. And this time next year, guaranteed, both will not be on the Broadway. So overall, this was a very solid week for most shows, and clearly showing what will close by Labor Day or by the end of the year. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!